As hello everyone, and welcome to episode 4 of the WMMA 5 series Pride, as we're now post open weight Grand Prix tournament of 2000, and now on to Pride 9 New Blood, which you all saw the card before we started, but we do have, a big signee. Jeremy Horn, the UFC light heavyweight champion, is now with Pride. How about that? 38, 6-4, only 24 years old. That's gonna be huge. Jeremy Horn, a beast. So that's gonna be huge. Also, just as far as everything else, Ken Shamrock left for UFC, so it's kind of like we signed and traded, Ken Shamrock for Jeremy Horn type of thing. So there's that. Which kind of sucks, kind of doesn't suck. I'm in the middle about it. One hand, I'm like, oh, that's a big name, we're losing, but on the other hand, it's like, well, his performances weren't really that great, as you remember, of course. Let's go to fight history. A poor fight, an average fight, and an awful fight with Tim Erickson, which that was going to be pretty much obvious that was going to be pretty awful, but, we'll see how it goes. As far as, will we get him back in time down the line? Maybe, maybe not, but not a big loss in my opinion. But the biggest thing, fucking Sakuraba's decided to take a hiatus from mixed martial arts. So that sucks. Our legitimate biggest name, our guy, Sakuraba, gone. Gone forever. At least not gone forever. Hopefully he comes back relatively soon. We'll see. But that sucks. That definitely sucks for sure. But so now as far as actual Japanese talent, we got Akira Shoji and fucking Nobuko Takada. That's about it. Oh, we got Ogawa too. So we got 3 guys at least. Ogawa's got to take a step up. Also, it's kind of funny, Shoni Carter is wanting to fight Minoru Suzuki. That's just, I just thought that was hilarious. But as far as, again, we'll look at the card just really quick. For those who forgot, for Pride 9 New Blood, we got the new debut of Mike Bork. We got, obviously, this big Vanderlei Silva, Renzo Gracie fight, middleweight division. Mark Kerr and Carlos Burrito. Guy Metzger, Alan Goes, Alexander Otsuka, and there's another one, Alexander Otsuka, the Japanese talent, and then Mark Coleman. Obviously, Mark Coleman's probably going to squash him. As the big names, though, at least not names, but the big to-do as far as what we're hoping for, Quentin Rampage Jackson and Rich Franklin's debut for Pride, not only Pride, but I think in the actual world, because I don't think, Quentin Rampage Jackson's had a fight. Oh, they both, alright, so at least they have not fresh debuts into the world, but that's going to be coming soon, hopefully, for Pride 10 Return of the Warriors. Hopefully we get an actual debut signee, as, without further ado, we'll save it real quick, just in case. We'll run the show, see what we got. Pride 9 New Blood, as we got Bob Sapp in the background. So we have, obviously, the pre-show analysis, as Renzo Gracie and Vanderlei Silva, middleweight fight. Nobuko Takada fighting for the first time since losing to Royce Gracie in the first round, the opening round of the Pride FC Grand Prix. So he's taking on, hopefully, could bounce back, as then former 5th rank pound-for-pound fighter Mark Kerr lost his undefeated status via unanimous decision to Ken Shamrock in the opening round, as then Mark Coleman is making his return after being stopped by Tom Erickson. So a lot of guys, and a lot of big returns after losing. We have Vitor Belfort coming back after losing to Sakuraba in his previous fight. 2 of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world. Vanderlei Silva is ranked 15th. Renzo Gracie is ranked 24th. So this is Vanderlei Silva's second time main eventing Pride. Renzo Gracie submitted 3 of his last 5, and Vanderlei Silva's won 3 of his last 5. As Silva's got a significant weight advantage. This is nice. We get finally a staff kind of right down the middle type of 5-2, with 5 going with Vanderlei Silva, 2 going with Renzo Gracie. That should be a hell of a fight. I'm very excited to see that again. Another split kind of down the middle. Mike Bork, the Rhino, taking on Nobuko Takada. As obviously this is Mike Bork's Pride debut, as Mike Bork's got the 4-3 advantage from the Blur Cat staff. Again, big weight advantage for Mike Bork. So we'll see the smashing machine, Mark Kerr and Carlos Burrito. Mark Kerr is ranked second in heavyweights, while Burrito is ranked third. This would be the first time they have fought. As Mark Kerr will have a significant weight advantage. Mark Kerr is 7-0 as far as staff picks. Burrito's finished 4 of his last 5, and Mark Kerr has finished 3 of his last 5. That's going to be an interesting one for sure. Then the Sandman, Metzger versus Alan Goes. Both fighters are world ranked in the light heavyweights, as Metzger's 15th, Alan Goes is 16th. So Alan Goes against the Lion's Den. It has a record of 0-0-1, so he drew against someone. Metzger 7 to Goes 0. All right. Did not think that'd be that so far one-sided. This, however, is definitely very one-sided, as Zuka trains at the Takata Dojo. Mark Coleman has an overall record of 0-1 against people at the Takata Dojo, as Coleman's ranked 5th in the heavyweights in Pride, and Atsuka's ranked 11th, which we have 17 heavyweights on the roster. Obviously, Mark Coleman, big odds in the favored margin there for Mark Coleman. And then Gerald de Oliveira against Vitor Belfort. Obviously, this is the Pride debut for Oliveira, who was usually a welterweight fighter, getting up into the middleweight division. We'll see how that goes for him. That's not a big as far as big weight up, but against Vitor Belfort, that's a big time fight. Obviously, Vitor Belfort is not only a significant weight advantage, but also the staff favorite, 7-5. Both two of the best pound for pound fighters in the world. Again, that's nice to see. And then the prelims, we got Rich Franklin debut in the big betting odds, a large margin win favorite over Akira Shoji. So that's nice. And he's got significant weight advantage. As then Quentin Rampage Jackson against Hans Niemann, as Rampage, the big staff favorite, betting odds again, huge favorite for Rampage, as he has a 5-inch reach advantage. And huge. All right. Here we go. Quentin Rampage Jackson, Hans Niemann. 6'1", 235. Wow, it's 1 inch taller, but a 5-inch reach advantage. Quentin Rampage Jackson is a freak. Look at that betting odds. That is crazy against a 40-year-old man in Hans Niemann. We shall see how it goes. Our referee, our judges, as so they waited at 235, but Hans probably gained a little weight back since yesterday. Interesting, but here we go. We're underway. 2 fighters come forward. Hans misses with a big right hand, allowing Quentin Rampage Jackson to counter with a right hand that lands cleanly. 2 fighters engage. Hans finds a good angle and lands nice 1-2. As Rampage lands a left jab and also connects cleanly with a right hand. Both fighters come together and strike. Hans scores with a jab but can't hit a right cross. Rampage hits a good right hand. Last punch hurt Hans. He grins in response, but I don't think he's fooling anyone. Both fighters meet in the center. Jackson lands a left hook. Hans lands a left jab, but can't hit the right cross. An exchange of strikes happens right in the center ring, but nothing comes of it. Jackson comes forward to the fighters, start trading blows. Hans hits 2 left hands on the counter. A jab hits home from Jackson, and he hits a big right hand. 2 fighters stand and trade strikes, but neither lands anything damaging. Rampage comes forward, walking down Hans, steps into the pocket, avoiding a jab on the way. Jackson can't hit a step-up left jab, but then he hits a nice straight right hand that lands hard. Jackson comes forward, and the 2 fighters start trading blows. Hans tries to hit a jab, but misses. A 1-2 from Jackson fails to land. Jackson attacks, strikes. Hans throws a counter jab, but misses. As a jab is wide from Jackson, but he hits a nice straight right hand. Jackson stalks forward, pressuring Hans, probably up against the ropes, maybe into the corner. But Hans fires off a counter jab. Jackson throws a 2-punch combo, but Hans avoids both of them. Both fighters move in and engage. Hans misses a jab and also doesn't find the mark for the right hook. Jackson tries the right hook but misses. Forces an exchange of strikes as Rampage. Hans fires off a counter jab but doesn't connect. Jackson can't connect with the jab, but then hits Hans with a beauty of a straight right hand. The 2 combatants meet in the center and start to strike. Hans lands a 1-2. Jackson doesn't connect with the jab, but nails the right cross in. Hans is on wobbly legs. He almost fell over as he attempted to back off. It is dropped by a big right hand. There's a knockdown as Rampage quickly pounces, looking to rain down punches on the stunned Hans, and loads with big right hands. Hans is just getting rocked at this point. It's down the halfway into the round, and Jackson's in mount. He doesn't get the mount, but only because Hans rolled over and gave up his back instead, and just unloading with big rights to the back of the Jesus Christ. Hans is getting rocked, gets both hooked in now, and now he's really in dominant position, and he's looking for the rear naked choke. Doesn't allow it, however, does Hans, as he tries to pound on Hans some more, but none of the blows land any degree of power. As he's looking for that rear naked choke again, Hans fights it off, as Hans improves his chances of survival by breaking free of the hooks, increases it, and he gets back into it, does a Rampage again, rocking him, pounds away with some shots, and Hans is in big trouble. He is definitely rocked, fires away with punches, but does little in the way of damage. Hans improves his chances of survival again, freeing the hooks. Minute into the round, can't he survive? Tries to pound on Hans, but none of the blows with any degree of power. Jackson blocks Hans as he tries to roll. Jackson pounds away with rights, but fails to land any significant blows. Hans tries to move Jackson off his back, but can't, and that is the end of the round. Definitely give that round to Rampage Jackson with the knockdowns, with just doing a lot of damage. I mean, you look at, 8 power punches, 17 ground strikes with power, only 9 jabs were landed by Hans. Complete domination. Obviously, with the attempt of the rear naked chokes, that's all good Rampage Jackson. We'll see if he survives, does Hans, or if we're going to get a knockout or TKO as the second and final round. Fighters go toe-to-toe with strikes, but the flurry ends without any really damaging shots landing. A few deep breaths betray that Jackson is starting to get into the deeper reaches of his gas tank. Stand and trade in the center of the ring, but neither fighter can land good shots. Both fighters come together and strike. That's a flurry of activity, but neither fighter is able to land a telling strike. Hans misses a left jab, but also can't hit the right cross. Jackson has a right hand taking on the gloves. The two fighters exchange. Hans uses a left jab, but has a right hook blocked, as Jackson connects cleanly with the right hand, taking a few gulps of breath. Hans is giving the first hint that he's starting to tire a touch. They come together and strike. Jackson counters the right hand with a right cross. They come together and strike. Hans hits the left hand. Jackson nails a right cross, as now Rampage is looking tired. They exchange in the center. Jackson dodges a right hand and counterattacks with a left jab and a good right hand. Halfway into the mark, an exchange of strikes happens right in the center of the ring, but nothing comes of it. Both fighters step up to strike. There's a brief exchange of fire, but neither fighter lands, as Hans has a right hand blocked. Jackson doesn't connect with his right hand. Both fighters come together and strike. Hans is off target with the jab, but then hits a right cross. Jackson hits a jab and also connects cleanly with the right hand. Both fighters step up and strike. Jackson dodges the right hand and counterattacks with the right cross. The end of the round is coming quick, and there's under a minute left. They come together and strike. Jackson misses a right cross and leaves him open for a counter, which Hans attacks with a quick left jab and a right hook. As Jackson, who is looking very tired, just gets grabbed by Hans. He's looking to muscle. Hans back up against the ropes, does Rampage, as he doesn't, and now they're probably going to... Oh, he does eat a short right uppercut that rocks him, as that ends the fight, though. That's definitely Rampage's fight. I would definitely be surprised. Yeah, that's definitely a unanimous decision. Quentin Rampage Jackson now 2-0. He wins his first Pride fight. It was a decent fight. I really enjoyed that first round, though, so I guess really the second round kind of dropped it down from good to decent, would be my guess. Hell yeah, let's see if he gets a promo. He does. Gives a praise to his team punishment, and various sponsors, as he's very happy to have won in his Pride debut, and he's very happy to... Oh, he's very happy here. That's what I thought he was going to say. He's very happy to be here. He knows how to use interviews well to sell himself. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. He is quite the entertaining motherfucker. As Rich Ace Franklin against the Kerr Shoji in the Pride middleweight division. Rich Franklin 2-0. Kerr Shoji 5-3-5. The betting odds in favorite of Rich Franklin. And he does have a bit of weight advantage. Referee are judges. Fighters face off. Rich Franklin towering over Kerr Shoji, 6'1", 5'8". That makes sense. He's fighting in front of his home crowd, though. He gets a big cheer as he makes his entrance. That's the opening bell. They start with a touch of gloves. Moving forward constantly. Rich Franklin putting the pressure on Kerr Shoji. He's in the pocket. Fails to find a home with his jab, but he then hits Shoji with a leg kick. Rich Franklin comes over, and the two fighters exchange strikes. Shoji throws a counter left, but doesn't connect. Rich Franklin gets up a left jab, or a right jab rather, set up a right jab and then hits a nice straight left hand. Both fighters move in exchange. Shoji misses the right cross and then leaves him wide open for the counter, which comes in with a quick right jab and a head kick. As they exchange, nothing really happens though. Rich Franklin comes forward. Shoji hits a counter left hand. Franklin misses right hand, but he hits a big left hand. Okay. Hits the right hand, but his big left hand follows up missing. Rich Franklin steps up forward as he's looking to strike. Shoji fires off a counter jab. A jab hits home from Franklin, and he scores with a left roundhouse kick to the jabs. Man, Rich Franklin's going to be a problem. If he's combinations with the jabs and the kicks and those fucking... That's going to be a dangerous combination for people. As Rich Franklin attacks with strikes, Shoji lands a left hand in the exchange. Franklin hits a right jab and then lands a nice left head kick. As that last strike may have hurt Shoji, he is backing away looking punch drunk. Yeah, that left head kick definitely dropped him, and a big left hand from Franklin drops Akira Shoji. There's a knockdown as Franklin, since his victory, looks to finish him with stomps and soccer kicks. Can't get there fast enough as Shoji's already back up. Rich Franklin comes forward, the two fighters exchange. Shoji misses with a left hand in the exchange, hits a right jab, then misses. He hits a right jab, then hits a nice left straight right as they stand and train the center of the ring, but neither fighter gives or takes any real damage. Both fighters step up to strike. Shoji hits a left jab, but doesn't find the mark with a right hook. Franklin lands a nice jab, but also lands a nice left hook. They come together, misses the left jab, and then hits a right cross. As Franklin scores a stinging left high kick, as Shoji wobbles, but he does not go down. He is hurt. He covers up, and Franklin's already advancing, trying to finish him. And there's another knockdown, a massive head kick, is knocked out cold. And there you go, a knockout from Rich Franklin in his debut. He is now 3-0, wins his Pride fight debut as a good fight. As Rich Franklin's going to be a problem with these head kicks. The kickboxing background with the wrestling background, he's going to be a fucking problem in the middleweight division, that's for sure. Let's see what he does. Thanks to all the sponsors for backing him. Also thanks to family, friends, and supporters. As Visibly Delighted, Rich Franklin celebrates starting his Pride career with a win. Hell yeah. So now we have our actual main card. As, plus 280, minus 360. This is going to be a hell of a fight. I think this is going to be great. Obviously, Vitor Belfort is going to have the size advantage. We'll see what happens here. As our referee, our judges, as they are towering over Olivieri. As there we go, Olivieri throws a quick 1-2, but doesn't land either blow. Belfort gets a hold of Olivieri, and not having to have taken even one shot while coming in, as Belfort's trying to push Olivieri so that his back is up against the ropes. Olivieri doesn't let himself be driven back, though, and gains a dominant position in the grapple instead. With control of the clinch, Olivieri tries to complete a takedown, but doesn't get the takedown. Belfort instead wrestles his way into the grapple. Belfort uses a nice knee strike from the grapple and catches Olivieri to the side of the stomach. Belfort's looking to muscle Olivieri back against the ropes. Belfort does, and is stuck up with his back up against the ropes as Olivieri takes a sharp stomp to the foot. As Belfort looking to sweep a leg in order to execute a sharp trip. He does. Trips Olivieri, sitting him down to the ground as he gets back up. Gives his back off the takedown as Belfort increasing his control by getting both hooks in. This is not good. He has the back. Pounds away but is unable to inflict any damage. Pounds away again but is unable to land any clean shots. Looking to get that rear naked choke. As he does. He gets the rear naked choke and he taps out. My God, that was quick. As winner by submission, Vitor Belfort. My God. Rear naked choke. Got the trip. Got the back. Just hooked in the hooks and got the rear naked choke. My God. Vitor Belfort. Getting the win. Thanks God. Gives a shout out to his family, friends, and everyone at Brazilian top team. My God. It's Mark Coleman and Alexander Atsuka. Minus 950 betting odds. This is going to be bad for Alexander Atsuka. As our referee, Mario Yamazaki. As our judges, Atsuka is fighting in front of his own crowd. It's not going to go well, as Mark Coleman's not even touching gloves. He has no respect. Shoots in for a takedown. He gets the takedown. He's got side control. Fires off a handful of punches, each easily being blocked with gloves. Atsuka tries to transition the guard, but that ain't gonna happen. Coleman throws a few strikes, but it's clearly slowing things down so he can catch his breath, as fires off a handful of punches, each easily being blocked with gloves. Coleman unloads with big rights and lands a few powerful shots. Atsuka tries to turn away from the blocks, but gets rolled, and Coleman has his back. This is not good. Coleman tries to pound on Atsuka, but all the blows are comfortably dealt with. Coleman blocks Atsuka as he tries to roll over, as now he's just ground and pounding him. The Godfather ground and pound is doing what he does best, and he's not going to survive this. Spoiler alert, yeah, he's in fucking serious trouble, and just pounding away, eating some heavy shots with right hands. But now Atsuka's actually dealing with him now. That's incredible. He blocks an attempt to roll him off his back, as he's pounding away again. Not many damage is being done, as again blocking, fires away at punches, but Atsuka doesn't take any undue damage. I'll tell you what, man. Alexander Atsuka. Sure, he's 1-4. Sure, he's coming in here with big disadvantage. But this man has gotten his fucking ass kicked pretty much every fight he's been in, and he does not give up. This man is a warrior. He is a fucking warrior, for sure. Coleman pounds away with rights, but fails to land any significant blows. Atsuka tries to turn over and sweep Coleman, but he can't do it. Coleman fires away with punches, but he does it with very little damage. Atsuka tries to roll, but doesn't budge Coleman. A lengthy period of stalemate results in Mario Yamasaki standing both of them up. Up close, they start wrestling. Coleman's the aggressor, as he's gotten the underhooks in and is looking to take Atsuka to the ground. He does. He obviously gets the takedown, gets the trip. Atsuka's in half guard. Tries to pound on Atsuka, but all the blows are comfortably dealt with. Tries to move from half guard to full guard, but Coleman doesn't allow it. Coleman unloads with some right hands. Atsuka comfortably dealt with him. Coleman blocks the transition to full guard, pounds away, but Atsuka calmly deals with him. Atsuka tries to transition to full guard, but can't manage it. Throws a few right hands as he takes a moment to plan ahead. Throws a few weak-looking punches, again trying to decide his next move. Fires off a handful of punches, each easily being blocked. Atsuka tries to get full guard on Coleman, but doesn't get anywhere. Coleman keeps Atsuka guessing with a few quick strikes. Atsuka uses an underhook to work some separation, then quickly scrambles. It's a bad choice, though, as Coleman seizes the opportunity to leap forward and secure side control. So that ends the first round. Obviously, all Mark Coleman there as bit of a snoozer. One last round. Round 2. Chooses to shoot in. Gets the half control. Isn't half control. As we have unloading some right hands, but Atsuka deals with them comfortably. As I said, half guard. Trying to move into full guard. Doesn't allow it. Coleman throws a few strikes, but it's clearly slowing things down so they can catch his breath. Atsuka tries to get full guard on Coleman. He doesn't get anywhere. Again, doesn't get anywhere. Halfway point in the round. Coleman pounds away with right hands. Doesn't do any damage. Blocks him. He's just going to weigh out the round. Yeah, stand back up. As Coleman's still moving well, but is desperately breathing a little deeper. They're starting to wrestle. Gets control. Uses some dirty boxing to smother the attacks. Another takedown. He gets it. Sweeps the legs. Pulls half guard. Just now, he's just going to lay on top of him, pretty much, Yep. And there's the fight. Unanimous decision. Mark Coleman. There you go. Average fight. Well taken. Yep, Mark Coleman gives a name check to everyone at Hammer House, all his various sponsors and friends, and he praises Atsuka for his skill and toughness. Atsuka is just unbelievable. So here we have Guy Metzger against Alan Gomes. Obviously, Guy Metzger coming in with, 34 fights to Alan Gomes' 7. Obviously, the more experience, kickboxing background against a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu background. This is the old tale of a stand-up guy and a ground guy. We'll see who comes out on top. I'm excited to see how it goes. As a referee, our judges, significant bigger than, he's gained even some weight, looking bigger than what Alan Gomes is. As we're underway, Gomes appear to go, sorry for the yawn. Oh boy, as Gomes appeared to be going for a takedown, but Metzger took the initiative first. Metzger connects with a nice jab, and then it goes with a straight right. Gomes goes in looking for a takedown. Metzger partially defends it, ends up hopping on one foot, while Gomes has a hold of the other one. As Gomes uses the position to drive Metzger up against the ropes. With the ropes trapping Metzger, Gomes looks for a trip takedown by sweeping the leg. He does. Excellent outside leg trip sees Metzger gets thrown to the mat and Goes has no problem getting side control. Side control Goes throws a couple of punches designed to keep Metzger guessing as Goes blocks the attempt to pull guard. Attempts the mount. He mounts Metzger. This is not good. Already in mount. 7 minutes left in the fight. Goes pounds away on Metzger, landing several good shots in the process. Goes fires off some right hands, but Metzger isn't troubled by them. Metzger tries a sweep from the bottom, but Goes doesn't budge. Goes pounds away, but he's unable to land many clean shots. Pounds with right hands, hitting several big shots. Goes forces Metzger to turn his back. Oh, now he's giving up his back. He's got both. He's got it locked in. He's looking for that rear naked choke. And he does. He gets the rear naked choke. And just like that, Allen Goes gets the win. The upset win. Slight upset win, but that was, give it a great fight. Obviously, it ending pretty fast. It was just a great fight. As, this is, once you get the takedown, you get into his world, Allen Goes was in complete control. Once he got to that, that was just, kind of the old test of time of a stand-up guy and a ground guy. Once the ground guy got the takedown, it was pretty much over from there. As gives a name check to everyone. The Brazilian top teams. Brazilian top team looking really well with Allen Goes and Vitor Belfort getting these wins on Pride 9. Giving a show of respect to his opponent, Guy Metzger. It's the smashing machine Mark Kerr. There's Carlos Burrito. Who, Brazilian top team. Can he continue the streak? Well, Mark Kerr get the win here. We get wrestling and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Lions Den Brazilian top team fight. Our referee, our judges. As, Mark Kerr's got a 6'1", 260. That's not even fair. That's a giant man. As we're underway, Burrito throws a punch, but Kerr was equal to it. Mark Kerr moves in fast and clinches Burrito. Kerr hits Burrito some short strikes to the side of the head while grappling. Using his wrestling skills, Kerr is trying to push Burrito up against the ropes. Kerr manages and controls Burrito up against the ropes. Kerr smothers Burrito against the ropes and scores with the left to the side of the stomach. Kerr pins Burrito up against the ropes. A full minute passes with the two opponents press up against close and exchanging short punches to the body and the side of the head. Now, Kerr's trying to get into a Muay Thai clinch. As he's got it hooked in. This is going to be interesting. Knees to the rib, but it lacked any power. Burrito tries to wrestle free of the Muay Thai clinch, but can't. Oh, Jesus, there's a knee to the face of Burrito. My God, I would not have expected a Muay Thai clinch from Mark Kerr just raining down knees. As Burrito partially blocks a knee strike enough to allow him to wrestle free of the clinch. For the first time, Kerr is starting to breathe a little heavier. Burrito throws a punch to Kerr, avoids it. Kerr takes the clinch, grabs Burrito into the clinch, tries to wrestle Burrito backwards up against the ropes. Burrito isn't going anywhere, though, as Kerr has worked in the underhooks and looks to take down Burrito. Oh, it doesn't happen, though. Burrito blocks the takedown and takes control of the grapple halfway into the round. Burrito tries to suck Kerr to the ground. Wrapping his legs around the waist and pulling guard. He sucked in the guard. He's getting a triangle. But Kerr doesn't let it. Burrito gets out of it. Kerr clinches very tight to Burrito while using short strikes, clearly trying to minimize the threat of submission attempt. Now that Carlos Burrito's in guard, he's got his back. Looking to get a triangle choke again. He blocks it. Burrito is controlled against the ground, unable to shift Kerr off of him. Kerr throws a few strikes, but clearly slowing things down so he can think. Kerr fires off a handful of punches, each easily being blocked. Again, another triangle choke, and he blocks it. Throws a few relatively weak right hands. The lengthy period has the referee standing them both up. Mark Kerr appears to be feeling a little fatigued for the first time in the fight. His hands are starting to lower just a fraction. There's a jab from Burrito, but misses with a vicious right hand. Kerr is able to grab Burrito. There's a minute left in the fight. Kerr in the round rather. Kerr uses dirty boxing and gets a few crisp punches on Burrito as they grapple. Kerr's looking blown up, trying to push Burrito up against the ropes. He cheats at pinning Burrito up against the ropes, stuck with his back up against the ropes, pretty much trapped. Thanks to the control that the tired-looking Kerr is exerting, nothing really happens the remainder of the round. They remain in close grapple, exchanging occasional short punches. That's a hell of a round. Really the first half, you got to give it to Kerr, but then, Carlos Burrito, once he got him down and started trying to get triangle chokes, it was looking at the fight metrics, with the big knees, with that Muay Thai knee, that was fucking the Muay Thai clinch with the knee. That was huge. That was definitely the highlight of the round. Once, he caused Burrito stuffed the takedown. He got him down. He tried to get those triangle chokes from the back. But man, looking at the fight metrics, it looks like Mark Kerr won the fight. But it's, or at least won the round. We'll see how the second round goes. Carlos Burrito is going to have to either try to finish him off the submission, because it's looking like Mark Kerr's going to win. That was a great round, though. I enjoyed it. As here we go, one last round. It looks like we're able to see Kerr try to get some grappling started, but Burrito was more aggressive, and he took the initiative. A punch from Burrito fails to land. Burrito fails to find a home for his jab, but then hits a nice straight right hand. Burrito's still moving well, but is definitely breathing a little deeper, as Burrito throws a quick 1-2, but doesn't land either blow. With a clear opportunity, Kerr is able to move in fast and clinch with Burrito. He's got him. He looks to take him to the ground. He does. There's a takedown, and Burrito pulls guard. So there's a takedown from Mark Kerr, definitely adding into the him winning this fight. The clock runs down as Burrito's being smothered against Kerr on the ground. Yeah, he's just going to smother him at this point. Yep. Nope, looking for a triangle, though. Can he get it? Nope, Kerr doesn't let it happen. As they fight, stand him back up, uses the left jab, but misses a vicious right hand as that ends the fight. There, obviously, it'd be nice if someone gives him a round, a win, but I think it's going to be a unanimous position for Mark Kerr. Yep. Oh, poor. Ugh. Yeah, that second round was very, very boring, but I thought the first round was the least exciting. I would have gave it decent, but I get it. As thanks everyone at Lions Den, having been prepared for this fight. Sponsor says there's a lot of respect for Carlos Burrito. Praises him for his toughness. Alright, now we got Mike Bork, the Rhino, against Nobuyuka Takada, making his Pride debut. The co-main event, too. This is a big-time fight from Mike Bork. 2-1. Has the slight betting odds in his favor against Nobuyuka Takada. We'll see. He's got a huge-ass weight advantage. He's a submission fight. What a submission fighting against pro wrestling. Odd. Very odd. As our judges, our referee, 55 pounds, giving up. Takada's fighting in his hometown. Takada comes in looking for a takedown. Bork almost stops the takedown, but is left hopping on one leg while Takada holds the other one. As he can't get, obviously he's not going to get that big bastard down, pushing him up against the ropes on one foot at least, as he tries to maintain control, but Bork wrestles his way out of trouble in a circle back to the center. Bork looked like he was going to shoot, but Takada simply took the initiative first. He can't hit a setup left jab, but then catches Bork with a right hook. Takada stalks forward, pressing Bork. Bork gets two counter left hands. Takada throws a quick 1-2, but doesn't land either blow. There's another takedown attempt. He gets the takedown. Bork has to pull guard. Takada doesn't posture up, perhaps worry of a submission, instead using small strikes while keeping his head on his opponent's chest. Bork uses his leg to push Takada back and tries to scramble for position. He may regret this choice, as it gives Takada the perfect opportunity to come over the top and get side control, as he throws some small strikes, but it's clearly just there to take a moment to try to catch his breath. Bork tries to transition the guard, but he can't. Takada takes the mount, shows his ground skills, then slips the mount, does Takada. Pounds away with rights, but Bork covers up a couple, manage to get through. Fires away with punches, only a few actually find their way, though, as Takada pounds away and Bork eats a few big strikes. Takada pounds away on Bork, but a few shots land clean. He's looking for an armbar, but Bork does excellently defending the armbar and using it to get on top. And the side control, there we go. That's a great job by Mike Bork. Halfway into the first round. Side control, Mike Bork throws a couple of punches designed to keep Takada guessing. Transitions to half guard. Does Takada throws a few right hands as he takes a moment to plan ahead. Looking to catch his breath. Bork is content, just throwing a couple of punches to the body. Pounding away on Takada, but can't land anything significant. Takada struggles and manages to go from half guard to full guard. Bork throws a few strikes, but without any venom. Takada grabs Bork, draws him close to smothering him. Bork clings very tightly to Takada while using short strikes, clearly trying to minimize the threat of submissions. Takada tries to sweep Bork. A elevator sweep succeeds in unbalancing Bork and results in both fighters scrambling. Takada ends up having to pull guard, losing out in the scramble. Bork throws a few right hands as he takes a moment to plan ahead, using his leg strength to push Bork back a bit. Takada looks to scramble for position. It's a bad choice as Bork seizes the opportunity, leaping forward to secure side control. Final 60 seconds of the round, throws a small strike, but is clearly just taking a moment to try and catch his breath. Takada scoots around and wraps his legs around Bork to get in the guard. Clearly worried by the submission threat, Bork keeps very tight to Takada, peppering him with short strikes in the round. Man, that's a tough round to call because really, both guys, Takada had the takedown, so you would think you'd give it to him. Plus, he had the ground pass and the ground sweep. But it seemed like it was very close. But I'd have to give it to Takada, I guess, with the takedowns and the passing and the sweeps. He tried to go for the submission too. He was landing some power shots. Yeah, you'd have to give that to Takada. As they go, that was a good round, full of action. Hopefully we get more of the same. Bell starts for the final round. Bork may have been setting up to shoot, but Takada aggressively took the initiative. A jab hits home from Takada and then scores with a right cross that landed hard. Two fighters engage with strikes, but neither can land a significant shot. Bork is slowing just a bit as he starts to get into his gas tank. In exchange of strikes don't go anywhere. Taking a few gulps of breath, Takada is giving the first hint that he's starting to tire a touch. Both fighters step up to strike. Takada connects to the left hand. Bork lands cleanly with a powerful straight right. Bork looks to have been cut above his eye. Blood is trickling down. Takada is knocked down by that shot. As Bork is starting to pound away on Takada, looking to finish the fight, unloading with big shots and lands a few powerful shots. Takada keeps his cool and trips Bork off balance as his posture is up for another strike. They both quickly scramble for position. That was fucking nuts. So Takada cut Bork, and then Bork fucking landed his right hook and then knocked him down. That was nuts. As Takada somehow ends up on top of Bork in the north-south position, takes a short knee strike to the side of the head. Takada blocks an attempt to escape, decides to alter positions and moves himself to side control. We move into the second half of this round. Takada begins to try to get himself into mount, as he does and has the mount on Bork. Takada unloads with big rights and lands a few powerful shots. Takada pounds away with rights, but Bork covers up and only a couple manage to get through. Takada unloads with big right hands and Bork is struggling to cope with. Takada pounds away the rights but fails to land any significant blows. Takada blocks Bork as he tries to sweep. As he's got a submission looking for an armbar, Bork not only defends the armbar but also stacks Takada up as he's several punches before gaining side control. Bork unloads with right hands, does minimal damage as that ends the round. My God, that ends the fight. What a fucking fight that was. What an exciting second round. Again, looking pretty, you could give it to Takada's favor, having the cut, but he did have a knockdown, so I mean, man, that's going to be a tough fucking fight to call. We'll see how it goes. As, all three, give it to Nobuyuka Takada. Unanimous decision. It was a fantastic fight. Yeah, I mean, that was a really great fight. That really was. That was exciting for sure. Nobuyuka Takada gives a name check to everyone at Takada Dojo. Various sponsors, thanks his family, friends, supporters. A lot of respect for Mike Bork, praises his toughness. As Nobuyuka Takada gave a good account of himself here. Alright. Main event time. Renzo Gracie, the axe murderer of Wanderlei Silva. What a main event this is going to be. What a fight that was, that co-main. Now we're going into the main. This is going to be exciting. This is going to be awesome. Alright, oh my God, there's my phone. Don't mind that. As, going in, our referee, our judges, 35-pound weight advantage for Wanderlei Silva. As that's the opening bell. Two fighters touch gloves. Gracie lands a couple of weak left hands that barely register. Silva can't hit the setup left jab, but then hits a nice straight right hand that lands hard. Gracie appeared to be going for a takedown, but Silva took the initiative first. Silva can't connect with a step-up strikes, but does land a vicious right cross, and he's knocked down. Renzo Gracie is knocked down as Wanderlei Silva sends his victory and looks to finish off with stomps and soccer kicks. Silva's too slow, though. Gracie's back up. There's a knockdown 1 minute into the fight. A jab is wide from Silva, then hits Gracie with the beauty of a straight right hand. A punch from Silva fails to land. Silva closes down Gracie, looking to unleash some strikes. Gracie had it looked like he was angling for a takedown attempt, but he couldn't take the initiative. Silva can't connect with a jab and then catches Gracie with a crunching right hook. Gracie isn't rushing in, worried about potentially getting it hit if he shoots in at the wrong moment. Silva can't connect with his setup strikes, but then scores a fantastic right cross, and he goes down and he's out. And knockout win for the axe murderer. Wanderlei Silva knocks out Renzo Gracie. My God, in 2 minutes. As, oh my goodness. What a fight. What a co-main and main. We get some great fights. As Vanderlei Silva gives thanks to everyone at Shoot the Box, as his various sponsors, the fans who came out to support him, asked about his opponent. Vanderlei Silva brags about knocking him out and says that anyone who fights him is going to end up the same way because nobody can withstand his punches. The Axe Murderer getting cocky as we have our commercial ratings was 82. Mid-level in the international. Not bad, I guess. As our commercial rating 74, obviously. Our critical rating was 74, obviously. Anything above 60 is good. So, hell yeah. What a great fight, from the nobody get the kind of Mike Bork. Vanderlei Silva, Renzo Gracie was good. Alan Goes guy Metzger. Vitor Belfort, that was also a nice little... A lot of, this was great. Great, and then we had a, good prelim fight and a decent prelim fight. Only old Mark Kerr and Carlos Burrito was the poor fight, but that's alright though. We'll take it. Increased our pop in Japan, increased our pop pretty much everywhere that we show shit at. As yeah, what a knockout of the night, submission of the night, and fight of the night. Hell yeah. Awesome. We get money in Big Nog. Hell yeah. Oh, we have risen. We have risen. We have gone now to mid-level international. Hell yeah. As, yeah. Vanderlei Silva knocked down Renzo Gracie in a minute. Hell yeah. Yeah. So we got all this. Obviously, this is kind of our people we have shortlisted. We can get rid of all this. As I will keep the Sakuraba hiatus just in case, so we'll see when he comes back. Yeah, we're trying to sign Shoni Carter just to kind of fuck with Pancrase. Hans. You are 0-2 in Pride, you're 40 years old. I don't think we should re-sign you. Oh, we haven't made one. Hopefully we don't try to sign him. That will just cut him. But, yeah. And we'll try to re-sign Shoni Carter real quick. What are they trying to do? Oh, it's still standard contract, dude. I mean, who cares, Alright. So, that will do it for episode 4. We'll catch you guys next time for episode 5 for Pride 10. Return of the Warriors. Nothing booked yet, but, that's going to be in September. So, we got a couple of months, obviously, to get there. But, yeah. Exciting times for sure. I mean, fucking Vanderlei Silva's just been on a tear. Look at that. I mean, he's taken on some... Enzo Inoue, Enzo Gracie. This is, it's looking huge for him. What's Alexander Atsuka? Yeah, he's annoyed. He's just like, this is fucking bullshit, man. But getting my ass kicked. Anybody else annoyed or anything? No. Alright, just him. Makes sense. Alright, so we'll catch you guys for episode 5. Take care, everyone.